Hi, my name's Themis.
And my name's Callum, and today we're going to show you our pumpkin, pine nut and pesto pasta.
It's jam-packed full of flavour, it's full of veggies, and it's on the table in no time at all. You won't even know it doesn't have any meat. The very first thing you need to do is get your pasta into a pot of boiling water, just like we've done. Now we're going to take our pine nuts and put them into a dry pan. We're just going to roast these slowly until they get nice and golden brown. And then we're going to reserve half for garnish, and the other half is going to go into our pesto. Our pine nuts have been in the pan for about a minute or so. Beautiful and golden now, and nice and fragrant. It's time to get them out. Bowl here. If you've ever toasted pine nuts before, you'll know that they do not take very long to develop that lovely fragrance and that golden color, so do not over toast them and don't go anywhere while they're in the pan. Now that our pine nuts are toasted, the next thing we're going to do is get our pumpkin into a pan. So a good drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. We've got these lovely diced up pieces of pumpkin. They're good size, which means they're going to get golden but still not turn to complete mush when we cook them in our pan. So I'm going to add that in, and then what are you doing, mate?
Beautiful. So I'm going to get cracking with our pesto. Now we've got these beautifully toasted pine nuts. Half are going to go into our little food processor, and we'll keep half to garnish on top of the dish. Now we're making quite a kind of traditional pesto here, so we're going to go in with some basil, but you could use parsley or coriander as well. Might keep a few leaves to pop on top. We're going to go in with a clove of garlic. I might steal some olive oil in a moment from you, Themis, if I may.
Yep.
Some lemon juice. That's just going to help it blend up. Try and avoid any of those seeds in there. I'm just going to give it a little blitz before we pop the olive oil in, just so it doesn't emulsify too early on me. All right, lemon juice is in. Time to blend up. Okay, so once it's finely chopped, and you can do this with a mortar and pestle or just with a knife and a chopping board if you like as well. Glug of olive oil, about 1/4 cup. And then half of our parmesan, I'm going to keep a little bit to the top as well. Stir that together and our pesto is done.
Lovely. So Callum's now made our pesto. Over here we've got our pumpkin sitting in the pan. I haven't touched the pumpkin at all because I want to let it really develop that caramelization from the bottom of the pan. So now I'm going to turn it over, and straight away we can see we've got this lovely little bit of caramelization occurring. It's not quite done, but I'll show you what I mean. Okay, just like that, it's lovely and golden. This is what we get, that kind of roasted characteristics, but we're doing it in a pan so it takes a lot less time. Our pumpkin is almost ready. It's about 95% done. It's not quite tender all the way through, but it looks and smells delicious. So now's time for us to get our garlic into the pan, as well as our spring onion. I might save a little bit as garnish as well. And then a little pinch of salt too, just to bring out the lovely bit of sweetness in that pumpkin. Cook this for another kind of minute or so, and it should be absolutely delicious and perfectly partnered with that pesto Cal produced. Our pumpkin is beautiful and golden and tender. Our pasta is just before tender, which means it's al dente, which is exactly where we want it to be, because we're now about to add it into our pan, and it's going to continue cooking really.
Perfect. So, and at the same time we're getting our pasta in, you can pop your baby spinach in as well. And what's going to happen is actually some of that starchy cooking water is going to help that pesto stick to the pasta and form a beautiful sauce, melt that parmesan cheese and help wilt down our baby spinach as well. Now it looks like a lot of baby spinach, but that'll wilt down to the pasta beautifully.
All right, so we're bringing everything together now, and it looks beautiful. We've got the bright green spinach. The pasta isn't the only part of the meal here, which I find exciting. We're getting so much flavor from our veggies, and then that beautiful bright orange pumpkin. It gets its brightness from the beta-carotene, which is super important for healthy eyes.
Perfect. Well, mate, let's get this pesto in, because this is going to flavour the whole dish and bring it all together. Scrape all that in there. Absolutely delicious.
Lovely. I might borrow that spatula if I can now. It's starting to get delicate with our pumpkin, so we'll just combine it just carefully now, making sure we bring that pesto together and turn it into a lovely sauce. Maybe an extra drizzle of extra virgin olive oil here, mate, as well. It's going to help create a lovely final addition. And there it is, mate. You do the honours.
Beautiful. A little bit of that extra spring onion, the parmesan, the pine nuts we toasted right at the start, and a few little extra basil leaves. And I tell you what, that is one that the whole family is going to love.
This is our pumpkin, pine nut and pesto pasta. There are so many peas, and you know what the funny thing is? I know your family's going to be pleased.